But there's a lot more to him than that. He's also the actor who's brought energy and warmth to a whole range of historical heroes. Rob Roy, Michael Collins, Oscar Wilde, and Oskar Schindler. As a screen star, he can give larger-than-life characters credibility because in real life, he's a larger-than-life man. The Force is with him, and tonight, it's with us. It's Liam Neeson.
It's funny watching that little promo reel for Good Behavior. I mean, I do that all the time. And I kept hearing Rod Serling's voice.
Yeah.
You know? You remember Rod Serling who did the Twilight Zone, that voice?
Right, yeah. It was a horror voice, wasn't it?
Yeah. a normal family. 3 kids. They think they're going to have dinner. You know, it's sort of like and the mashed potato turned into a monster or something.
So you're in the middle of Star Wars madness. Where were you when you saw the first Star Wars movie?
I was in theatre in Belfast. It was the first time I went ever into a cinema that was packed. Every seat was taken. And it was the first time I think I ever saw an audience applaud at the end of a film, too.
I can remember the first time. I saw it at Lowe's on 44th Street in New York in the afternoon, in an August afternoon, when they meet people there, because it was an afternoon showing. And I knew I would remember the dialogue when Carrie Fisher said, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." I'm not going to forget that. And I never did. I just said it, you know.
Yeah,
and,
that's good. Say it again.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. She says that when she's sticking the message into R2-D2.
Yeah.
With a little hubcap masquerading as a robot. So a couple of decades go by, and the new movie comes up. Did you campaign for the part? Did you go out to get it?
I kind of did. I mean, I had a friend, Susan Colley, and she said, "Look, I've heard George Lucas is going to direct this new Star Wars Episode 1. So my agents called him up, and a few months later, I was sitting down with George and Rick McCallum, his producer. And in fact, we talked about everything but Star Wars. So I thought, well, that's it, you know.
So you had the script in front of you and you said,
No script.
No script? He doesn't give
and
you
even when I was offered it, there was still no script. So it was a leap of faith. But, I mean, who's going to turn down George Lucas and Star Wars?
Well, we've actually got some moments from the film here to give some idea of what you do in the film. You're a wise Jedi telling a younger Jedi what to do, and then both of you do it. Here, let's take a look at this.
The boy will not pass the Council's test, Master. He's too old.
Anakin will become a Jedi, I promise you.
Do not defy the Council, Master, not again.
I shall do what I must, Obi-Wan.
If you would just follow the code, you would be on the Council. They will not go along with you this time.
You still have much to learn, my young apprentice.
For those who haven't seen it yet, which is already a very small proportion of the whole population of the Earth, that's the bad Jedi. That's Darth.
That's a guy called Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Yeah,
he's got Jedi powers, but he's a bad guy.
He's a nasty piece of work.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you saw there, he's actually got a double lightsaber.
Yeah, he's a clever, nasty piece of work, isn't he?
It's funny because when that sequence starts, and I'm not giving anything away, but, you know, Ewan and I kind of go up against him, and I say something like, "We'll handle this." I love saying. We take off our cloaks, you know. So he kind of lights one side of the lightsaber, and we're kind of going, ha, and then he lights the other side, and it's like, oh.
First of all, you've got to get the fencing moves. They're all got to be learned, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've done quite a bit of that in the past, Clive. It was with Excalibur and Rob Roy and stuff, I'd done it. And there's like 8 basic defense moves, I think. Shoulder. No, I have to stand for this, sorry.
Do I have to stand too? Am I in this?
Yeah, stand if you like, just for support.
I'm Darth Maul, all right?
So if you have a...
Just imagine I'm an ugly bastard, right?
How small, right? So if you have a lightsaber, right? Two hands.
Double-ended.
Oh, that's good, yeah. So mine is here. So if you were to attack my shoulder here, there's, boom, there's a move here where I would stop your defense. There, that's number 2. The waist, just go for the waist now. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Then if you were to go for the knees, you turn it. 5, 6. Then I love this one. If you were to come down from my head, boom, there. And then this is the really great one. If you were going to go for the spine, I go, drop it that way.
Ah, right.
And depending on who you're fighting, you go, whoops. Or you just go like that.
It's very, very impressive stuff.
But that's all. Those are the 8 basic defense moves.
The actual thing that you're doing before they do the electronics on it, what is it, a sword and they put the electronic fizz on?
It's funny, some fans kind of say, like, this lightsaber says, oh man, you will it into existence, right? You think it and then it shoots. In America, I was saying, no, it's a button. It says on and it says off. It's like, no man, it's the Force. I said, look, I'm a Jedi Master, I'm telling you, it's a button. But it has, supposedly has these crystal batteries inside that you have to recharge every now and again. I mean, it's not in the film, but you can imagine, like, wait, Darth Maul, wait.
I got to ask this question about what Jedi Knights do apart from fighting, because it seems to me every Jedi Knight is a mixture of Confucius and Bruce Lee and all 7 of the samurai.
Right.
But above all, you're very, very wise, right?
Yeah, very wise.
Very wise.
It's really hard to act that. You know, we kind of look at each other and frown quite a lot.
You say, do not be impatient, my young apprentice.
Yeah.
Right?
George, could I drop the young here? No, keep it in. Okay.
Yeah. You're very, very good at the Jedi wisdom speak, but what you're really good at is spaceship speak, and that's the hardest speak. That's the tough stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Activate those hyperdrive coordinators
please.
and all that stuff.
But it was funny when you and myself had to come on, and of course it's a sliding door, and you're in, you know? And we're rehearsing it. And he said, George, what'll I do? George says, well, start the spacecraft, you know? Like, and there's all these banks, and, you know, buttons and levers and stuff. So we just started laughing. It was like every dream, you know? And we're looking out through the window like, head for that star, you know? It was great fun, you know?
Yeah. I listened to that soft Irish voice of yours. You still don't sound American. You've been there a while now.
I've been living there about 12 years, yeah. And my 2 wee boys, they're starting to speak, you know, they're starting to get an American accent now. It doesn't worry me. I mean, that's, you know, my eldest boy is 4, said the other day, oh, Dad, that's cool. And I thought, oh. Here it starts, you know.
Yeah, it's a very, very sensitive question, and I'm trembling with fear when I ask it, but, you know, I bet quite a lot of Hollywood leading men, it's big stars. They're big stars, they tend to be small people. They're very challenged in the altitude department. You know, I name no names, but for example, you could stand Tom Cruise on top of Dustin Hoffman, you still wouldn't get to you. What I want to ask you is,
yes,
how do you behave when you're with these guys? Do you sort of crouch a little so as not to...
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of sitting down, you know. I avoid going on the knee. That's something entirely different. You know?
So you're definitely going on, because there was a big story about you retiring.
I know. That was my fault. I'd done these 2 films back to back, and I was in Los Angeles, scene for 25 years, and I was missing my wife and my kids, and I was doing an interview for Star Wars, which had started, and I just was so tired and fed up, and I just vomited this bile about the movie industry and producers and directors and how we were all puppets, and I mean, and this wee woman's going, oh. So, but it's totally untrue, you know. I can't afford to get
You do get to the point where you have to watch everything you say, or even what you don't say, don't you?
Yeah. Everything, I mean, you know, and I never learn it, you know. I like sitting with you is so easy to sit and talk, you know. But you do it with a bunch of journalists to publicize a film, and someone will ask you some little thing, and you think about it, and you want to give it a kind of intelligent, truthful answer, and they'll print something else, or they've already come in with an agenda, you know. And this thing appears that makes you look like a total heel, you know. Then it gets picked up again and rearranged again, you know. So it's like, you're cursed if you speak and you're cursed if you don't.
Well, the studio...
You know, this is fun, but the rest is... No, I mean it is, but some of these guys are just, oh.
What's the next big movie?
I have this film coming out in America next week called The Haunting, a Jan de Bont film. He made Twister and Speed. Yeah. Very scary film. With that real ugly girl, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta, you're not old enough for her. A word of advice, my young friend. Thank you very much, Liam Neeson. To play us out of the last show of the series. If you were thrilled to see Chicory Tip in 1972, imagine how thrilled Chicory Tip are to see you in 1999. Here they are now, proving once again